And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another great episode of the Puff Drink Talk podcast, where we smoke a little bit, we drink a little bit, and we talk about a little bit of everything.
Yeah. News of the week.
News of the week, events.
What do you feel like?
Sports.
Fun things.
Things we like.
Yeah. A little bit of, just good friends bullshitting around and having a great time.
For football season, we might get another person coming in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is
Another committed person?
He is a Chiefs supporter, right?
Yep, he's from Nebraska, went to the University of Nebraska, and big Chiefs fan.
And he's quite knowledgeable.
He's with me then.
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll put him in
George.
the Chiefs corner over here.
Yeah. Right over there.
Come on, George. Chiefs. Why are you supporting the Chiefs?
By the way, I'm George.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm Hilton.
I'm Dylan.
And I'm Conrad. the official intro to everyone.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, man, I hate this recent bias or the golden rule bias fallacies. If you're old, you believe the past, everything that happened in the past is better. If you're young, right, so you think everything that is new is better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when it comes to a sport, let's say that I started liking basketball when Jordan was winning 6 rings. Of course, I was young. It's a new sport. Of course, I would root for a team like Chicago.
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing of youngers now. They all support, Golden State Warriors now,
Because of Stephen Curry.
because of Stephen Curry. No, that means you don't know anything about basketball. Oh, you're just a fan because they're winning. This is what we all do, except for geography, which defines the teams you like, your local teams.
Right.
It's about winning.
Oh, yeah.
I can, with 100% fact, say that I used to be a Golden State Warriors fan before they were cool.
Right?
And I have a jersey to prove it because it was an old school Jason.
We want to see it. Do you still have it?
I believe so. I'm going to have to do some
All right, so if you have it next time, bring it.
Yeah. When the Sacramento Kings weren't doing so good, I jumped on the Golden State Warriors bandwagon because they were shittier than the Kings. So.
Oh, so you go the other way.
Yeah, I went the other way. So.
All right. So when did you start liking?
This was probably back in the beginning 2000s, because I got my jersey when I was 9 or 10 years old. My dad used to work in Oakland.
Okay, so it makes sense.
So he was always there. He was right down the street from the stadium. I'm blanking on the name of the stadium down in Oakland.
The old one?
The old one,
I know
the Coliseum. Yeah,
so
the
what you
Coliseum.
want to say is, in Star Wars, you were supporting Darth Vader.
Yeah, right from the beginning.
Yeah, right from the beginning. But is there anyone else you should support in Star Wars? That's the guy. That's the guy we should support, right?
Like Kylo Ren.
Well, there's a whole TV series about that, Cobra Kai, right? So we always thought that the Karate Kid there was the hero, but actually,
He's the villain.
he's the villain.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the villain. The whole TV series is about that, how the other guy is the good guy, actually. This new kid comes to the city, disrespect all the rules in your home? Come on. So, I would like to see more comebacks like this. Villains, being given a chance to explain who they are.
Villains are just misunderstood.
Some.
Yeah.
Some.
Hitler was definitely understood what he was trying to do. He was a bad guy.
Too understood.
But there's other villains out there.
Oh, yeah.
What are we looking at? Are you just bringing up stuff to discuss later?
No, I saw that. So the season opener for the NFL is going to be in Sao Paulo,
Corinthians Arena.
Corinthians Arena, and there was a unofficial ban on the color green. On green jerseys, fans are not allowed to wear green
Do you know
jerseys.
why?
Oh, yeah, because of the Palmeiras.
Because
Because
of
the rival.
A rivalry, right?
Yeah. Commercials, ads, anything.
No green.
No green.
So the conundrum here is the opening game is going to be played by none other than the Green Bay Packers
The Green Bay Packers.
and the Philadelphia Eagles, both a predominantly green jersey team. So will they both be wearing alternate jerseys? What's going to happen? We don't know. Isn't that interesting?
Such a cool topic. Definitely. In Grêmio and Inter, in our city that we're going to talk today, one is blue and the other one is red.
Yeah.
So Coca-Cola sponsored them for some years. It was always black inside. All the Coca-Cola logo
You got some light.
was black.
Mm.
You couldn't have red or blue.
Mm.
In honor of
in
that.
one of these stadiums, Coca-Cola was
Brazilian.
black
Mhm.
because you couldn't have red, and the other one could have a green to blue too. So both teams would have a black Coca-Cola logo.
Mm.
So for the same reason.
A neutral.
Yeah, a neutral color, which is the same, right? So, but look, I don't know how fast the tickets are going to be sold because every single person I know in São Paulo wants to go,
Oh, I know. They're going to sell out.
It's gonna sell very quickly.
and it's going to be extremely expensive.
Yes.
Like
You think so?
it's going to be like the cheapest is going to be like $500, $600.
There will be people traveling there. Hopefully they give some tickets to locals, though, first. Because there will be people traveling there just to see
Mainly
the game, I
for
think.
members of Corinthians, especially. They have VIP areas, and stuff. But they have deals. I don't know. I agree with you. It would be good to have a large, audience, Brazilian
Local
audience,
fan
like
base,
local base to support and to promote the sport, right?
So I actually read an interesting article, and I wish I would have sent it to you guys, but it was talking about Formula One expanding, and the new talk is they want to open up another Formula One stop here in the U.S.
Okay.
They love Miami. They kind of like Austin. Austin's kind of the redheaded stepchild because it hasn't been off to a hot start as much as it had. Even though now it's very successful and it's a moneymaker here in Austin. But Miami and Las Vegas really solidified and put
Yes.
Formula One on the map for Formula One
It's a
racing in
big
the
market.
U.S.
But what's interesting is I think some of the drivers don't really like the Miami circuit. They don't like the race that much, but they really like COTA.
Yes.
But as far as what brings money in, Vegas and Miami.
Yep.
For sure.
Two of the major hotspots for tourism.
Where else
Austin
are they
is-
thinking of going? Like New York or something? Like outside of New York?
Well,
Bring
so
that
the,
back? A
so
little street circuit in New York would be cool.
Well, and that was what they were saying is Formula One now has expanded, and Roger Goodell of the NFL has said once you start expanding, you have to keep going before you stop, and you can't stop because that expansion is just going to continually bring in more revenue. Hence why we're having football games in other countries. We've done it in Mexico. We're doing it in, the UK and Germany. Now we're doing it this year in Brazil.
And I think the following year we're going to Spain.
Yeah. So, and that's it. Is the sport of football is trying to introduce itself in other countries to get a bigger followers, more followers, a bigger fan base, spend money into football so that you can expand the sport, and that's what Formula One. So, football is taking a book, a page out of the book of Formula One and expanding to more countries to increase their fan base and increase revenue. So I thought it was an interesting comparison of our two favorite sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
It's smart, strategic.
yeah, it is.
And again, the players don't love it, but it brings in money.
And I don't know about the fans. Like you pay probably a annual, I don't know, maybe more. You pay 5 years ahead, and then you want to have at home your team is playing. So you pay the annual like membership or something. It's probably expensive, and you can't watch the team. You should have like a benefit. Okay, so you're a member. You have if you want to go to Europe, if you want to go to Brazil, the ticket's gonna be half or it's free for you because you pay it. So do you understand? Like from
It's
from the
a subscription thing.
do you understand what I'm saying? Because you pay per year, like for the 16 games or how many games at home, how many games you play at home.
There's 17 games now, so potentially 8 at home.
8 at home. So you see it, you pay for the whole year, I guess.
You know what? And that actually is a brilliant idea, George. Have some type of subscription base where You pay like $1,000 a year, whatever. You're not going to get fantastic seats, but if the Cowboys, it's seats. The Cowboys play, at the stadium, and anyone can buy it from around the world, and be like, hey, I'm a Cowboys fan in Brazil. I'm a Cowboys fan in China.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay $1,000, and hey, I'm going to pick this game, and I'm going to go visit and see them and get an experience or something like that.
It might vary from team to team because like AT&T Stadium's just expensive in general compared to other stadiums, but it could be a thing for sure.
Some type of subscription base. That's where money is.
Because you already pay for that, like you want something back. You want something back. I see my friends complaining like in soccer you play like 30 games a year at home, right? So I see them complaining. They don't give us anything. I mean, we spend every month, we pay here for years, and they don't give us almost anything back except for the game. So I think people want a little bit more, especially when they are taking the opportunity to see the first game of the season.
Yeah.
That, and as it introduces people into the game, like they're going to end up being huge fans of the teams that are the ones that make it to Brazil or wherever it is. Like all those people are going to want to follow on TV the Packers and the Eagles because they got to see them in person. I would think, especially if you're little kids, like the first football game you've ever got to see in person, like you're going to become a fan of those teams.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said in the beginning, right? So if you see a team win like me, like I've been watching, I think I'm super lucky because I have Brady and Mahomes playing, one against each other. So I seen and I liked it. So am I now should I be blamed because I've seen one of the best players ever playing and like the team?
No, you're lucky. That reminds me, did anybody catch the roast of Tom Brady?
Oh, God.
How they call it, the Groat. Have you seen the Groat? Greater roast of all time. Yeah, they call it Groat.
I didn't know that it was going to be a thing. Sam and I had just made dinner and we sat down and I saw that it was popping up live on Netflix. And so we just tuned in. And oh my God, it was ruthless. It was so good, but it was ruthless.
Gisele Bündchen is not happy with that.
She was mentioned many times.
Many times. And now the media is covering it, right?
For sure.
Bündchen.
I'm sure she's not happy about it, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's part of the culture.
She was more of like at least he signed up for it. She didn't sign up for it, you know what I mean? So she caught a bunch of strays, unfortunately. But,
yes, but
I can honestly say Tony Hinchcliffe is.
I love him.
He's here in Austin. He's fully embraced Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
His Kill Tony
every Monday
show
night.
every Monday
What's
night.
his name again?
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Hinchcliffe. Mm-hmm.
He
That was hilarious.
the hell nah
on that pussy.
Oh my!
That was so funny. Dude, he was at Shane's. I got to see him too.
Oh yeah,
dude, he really is. I watch Kill Tony every week too.
Yep,
he's just he's a roaster.
Yep, that's
what he's known for.
That's what he is just so funny, so funny. The things that he comes up with is just so witty.
Nikki Glazer, that was really good too.
She was good too.
Man, I've been following her for over 8-9 years, right? I like her, but the things she says in her podcast, I mean, from me, it's gross. Like she is one of the grossest person I've ever listened to in my whole life. And believe me, man, I listen to Brazilian funk. So this is have you seen her speaking about her love affairs and what she does during it? My goodness, it's graphic. That's what it is. So, but I like her.
I got a taste of it in her set, what she was talking about with Tom, but yeah.
Exactly.
I haven't watched enough of it.
Yeah, so
and those were the jokes she kept. She went on Howard Stern and read off some of the ones that she
I didn't watch that, but
did you watch it?
That thumbnail. Were they bad?
Oh my God, yeah.
Tony was easy. She looks like she has an eating disorder, which makes sense that the industry's been shoving her down everybody's throat.
Man, she is graphic, man.
I love comedy, man.
Yeah.
But that's what a lot of the articles are like. See, is comedy back? All this ruthless roasting that was live on Netflix, and they were just saying anything and everything.
Bert Kreischer is the Tiger King and the Liver King. had a baby, and and his liver would end up looking like
Martin Luther King got punched by Rodney King or something. That was good.
oh man, oh just
They were just dropping the R word left and right. Like you can just say anything.
yeah.
They didn't care.
Even Dana White.
That made me laugh so hard because they were really playing on Kill Tony.
Did you watch it, Hilton?
No.
It's on Netflix. You'd have to watch it without the kids around. It's graphic.
Yeah.
But they
Look
like,
at some of the highlights.
yeah, you can watch highlights on YouTube. They were playing on
It
Kill
was-
Tony. It's just the one name in the bucket was Dana White. He was like, I'm pissed off. I flew all the way here. Netflix only gave me 60 seconds. My name's Dana. Is that not transgender enough for you liberal fucks? Just live on Netflix. And even Kevin Hart's face was like, oh, shit.
It was a good time. A good time.
I was laughing the whole time. It was good comedy.
Nice, yeah.
Tom
So
did
George,
bad at
what
the
are
end.
you smoking today?
Oh, yes. So, guys, look at that. Ian suggested me. These are 5 identical cigars.
You
the
bought
basics.
another 5?
You need to get Ian
And
on this podcast.
what was that?
You need to
Yeah.
get Ian on this podcast.
Did you
And-
smoke the Mexican ones
I did.
from last week?
No, I still have it at home. I
Oh.
only smoke the Gordito.
You know what's funny about that? Carol came into the office earlier this week, and or maybe it was last week after the episode, and there was
Juarez.
Yeah.
the band was sitting there, and she goes, "Oh, what? I love those. Who had those? I get them from Smokers Happy." And I was like, "That must be the only place in town that has them, because that's where George just got them from." But she says she loves those.
Yeah, it's really good. It's worth it as a gift, for sure. I mean, not as good as Ballerinis, but it's really good.
Thank
Really
you.
good.
Thank you.
So basically,
It's
Bow
good to
down
retract
to,
yeah,
in time.
yeah, right. So
bow to the king.
come on, man. I
It's
know
not
I'm
fair
going.
competition, though.
Yeah, it's unfair.
Really fair.
So basically, there are 5 identical cigars with 5 different wrappers.
That is Cam likely called again.
Yeah.
So as I'm saying, right? So they put it like it's a blend of the Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers and
What's the rapper?
the wrappers. So the 5 cigars are the same. Only the 5 wrappers are different. Only the wrappers are different.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
It's just for you to
Interesting.
try, yeah. So I
Different
tried it.
blends.
Yeah. So far, I tried 2, right? And then I tried the Sumatra and Connecticut. So I'm going from lighter to darker. And then next one is going to be Corojo. Then Habano. And finally, a San Andres. So,
San Andres is Mexican.
yeah. So, yeah, the Mexican. So it was...
San Andres, in this case, is a San Andres Maduro.
Yeah, yeah. And they are all Toros. And
Okay.
so I didn't quite enjoy the first one, but the second one was really good. And they have a QR code explaining why they created this package here.
And which
You
one
know.
was the second one? Was it a Connecticut or
Sumatra is a
Sumatra?
very good one, so I'm gonna try more Sumatras. I really liked it, and yeah, and both of them were more not earthy; they were more like spicy,
Okay.
like a nice star,
Mhm.
sweet, and the last 2 are supposed to be more earthy. So I want to feel this.
Mm.
So
It's interesting how much the rapper influences the taste.
yeah, this is what he said, and then this one I'm gonna smoke the. Toro
That's funny
Corojo.
because on Cuban cigars, until New World cigars, or the rest of the other cigar manufacturers' places, he started introducing different blends and whatnot. Because Cuban cigars, they're all puro. They're all like,
Yeah.
100% tobacco made in Cuba with, Cuban tobacco.
Right.
And they always said that the wrapper was just to hold the cigar together. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It wasn't like meant to influence the taste whatsoever.
Interesting.
But things changed from quite a few years back, maybe 15 years when the blends started getting out, maybe 20 years, something like that. Because it does make a difference. I mean, that was noticeable by these other manufacturers.
Yeah.
Because before it was just roll the tobacco, the nice look ones put on the wrapper, and then the crappy looking ones put it inside. You know what I mean?
Here.
And then
Sorry, man. I fucked up. Dude. No.
you might have.
Yeah.
But then they had like this idea of no, cigar is a cigar. It does smoke it.
Right.
But they do have different blends. So I don't know why they would say that to start with.
Neither.
So
Mystery of
the
Cigar World.
Fuentes that were able to grow the first wrapper in the Dominican wrapper leaf
Yes.
changed the game.
They had 3 years leftover tobacco, Cuban tobacco they could still use to manufacture when the embargo came. And after that, they had to figure out. So they tried quite a few places, and then they landed in the Dominican Republic, and then they started making.
They were told they would never be able to grow a wrapper leaf from the Dominican. They figured it out.
Huh, I'll be damned. Do you follow Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, on X?
Probably should.
You should. So he reposted.
Who is he?
Used to be a wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. Good
I like
guy.
him. He's a good personality.
He's got good personality. But I say that because he has his own cigar shop and sells his own cigars.
Nice.
And I was looking at them, looking them up. They're a little on the pricier end, but they're wrapped or rolled in Tampa and Little Havana. And he's always posting pictures of him eating McDonald's and smoking
Yeah,
cigars.
I was gonna say that's the one thing. He's got like crazy physique. He played in the NFL. The dude's ripped every day. Like he would just eat McDonald's. And he says it's bogus, which everybody's body's different. But he's like Tom Brady. All these people spending $500,000 a year on a nutrition plan. I'm like, I eat McDonald's every day. It's not gonna kill you. It's like not everybody's Chad Ochocinco, you know.
And then that is the thing as well, which is his exercising.
For sure, you can eat 1,000 calories if you're gonna go run sprints and.
There was a squash player or squash or whatever you want to use the accent of squash player, and James, forgot the last name, but
McElroy?
no,
Bradbury.
he was a world champion once, and he was a number one for a little while. So like number one seeds in the Wheelstrop. And he always he doesn't say that he eats things like McDonald's or burgers or whatnot, but he always had like, I can eat anything I want. He always said, squash gave me the opportunity to travel the world and eat anything I want because I'm exercising so much.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I eat.
Right.
So yeah, if you're a sportsman, yeah, you could potentially eat anything you want. It's not going to affect anything.
It goes the same for marathonists.
Yeah.
So think about that. Look, they have just a prototype for that, and it's just matching the skills you have or whatever you came to this world like, and the sport you play. So swimmers too. There are many specific characteristics of a limitation for a human, natural, like normal human beings, and a world class swimmer. So there are definitely.
Swimming's no joke. It's a full body workout when you do stuff in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever gone to a pool and just like
It'll
swam
swim.
around for a little bit and you're like, this is easy. And then when you're like,
Get out.
let's race. I'm going to hold my breath and we're going to go from one end to another.
Yeah.
I'm going to swim as fast as I can. If you do that one lap, just down a regular pool and get back on the other side, you get up and you're like, whoa, what did I just
I used
do?
to do that a lot as a kid. I haven't done it
Yeah.
as an adult though.
Do it.
And no,
It'll kick your ass.
when I was my senior year of high school, that summer before going into college, and a little bit like my last semester of high school, I was a lifeguard at the Y, but the one off of Twin Lakes, the one off of 1431, it's like outdoor lakes. So I had to get like outdoor lifeguard certifications, and we would do like workouts weekly that were like mandatory. And the first one, I threw up. We had to swim down and back so many times, and then you swim down, pick stuff up, and come back. I had no idea. It kicked my ass. And then you'd go out in the middle of the lake, and our instructor, my boss, they'd just sit in canoes and just watch us with like a stopwatch. We'd have to sit there with like our wrists out of the water and just wade water for like 30 minutes straight. And you don't really, like after 15 minutes, you don't feel it anymore. And then you start walking out of the water, and your legs just feel like jelly. So you do that and use your arm. Like it uses everything.
Yeah.
Shoulders, arms, traps, legs.
I already showed my trophy, right? When I beat PK. You want me to show my
You're swimming?
medals when I was swimming?
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I held the
flag star.
once. But it was like of course amateur, like kids. I was like 14 years old, I think, 14 or 15.
Mm-hmm.
The same time I was racing, karts. I had very briefly the record of what is the swimming style that in Portuguese they call it peito. What is this? The
Freestyle.
The breaststroke. Yeah, very briefly I held the record in the state of Maranhão.
Wow. Okay.
Briefly,
You
because
see who flags it? I'm telling you, man.
and that was funny. I got beaten, but it was funny because my cousin, Karina, she was faster than me. And then so the female record was faster than the male record, for a little while.
I remember our middle
Which was
school
fast.
here in like the book, like the library competition thing, like nationally. I don't even remember if it was like the amount of books sold or something, but we won, and Michael Phelps came to our school.
Wow.
Really?
Oh,
Mhm.
Jeez.
And seeing him in person, and he's so tall and his shoulders are so wide. You look at him, it's like he's a robot. He just doesn't even look real. Like, he was just created in a lab. Is what he really looks like.
Like
Yes, It's
Pure
crazy.
muscle.
Yeah.
And talk about eating anything you can eat.
Oh, he could do whatever.
Well, but the thing is, like, didn't
Whatever.
they go over like his diet, like a
Anything
swimmer's
and
diet?
Who thing he wants.
Oh hell, Nas on that pussy.
Oh my god, that was such a good joke.
Guys, I'm glad I'm laughing here because it's been a very tough week.
Yeah.
in the state where was born, Porto Alegre, the capital of Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil, and there have been floods before, and there's a very famous one from 1941 that my mom keeps telling me. She was born a year before, so. But when she moved to Porto Alegre, every single person talks about this. It's, there are books about it and how bad for the city was. And we kind of, it happened 30, 50 years ago, 60 years ago. But now we have an idea of what those people felt at that time. Especially because think about it now, we have many ways to evacuate faster, communicate, right? But think about in 1941 how it was, so that made me feel sorry for what happened then and in connection what happened now. So what do you know about that, you being married for someone also from that place?
Well, and I know flooding does happen in Porto Alegre and Rio Grande do Sul. I know the biggest thing that I asked Camila was Hurricane Katrina killed obviously a lot of people in New Orleans. But that was because the flooding gates or something with the gates wouldn't allow the water to
Come on.
come out like an over. I forget what type of gates. Hurricane Harvey in Houston, just improper infrastructure. It's been since revamped and
Those pictures were
rebuilt.
crazy when that happened.
and
Total devastation. I remember
total
that, yeah.
devastation. Well, so I like what I was asking Camila is why is this happening to this extent in Rio Grande do Sul? Because it's not just Porto Alegre; it's the whole state of Rio Grande do Sul.
Yeah,
that's-
especially the region around the city. The
Yes.
Great Porto Alegre, which has over 5 million people.
are flooded. So it's why is this happening to the extent that it's happening, and how do you prevent or minimize this from happening in the future? So I guess that's my question to you. Have you heard any theories or anything that's coming out in the news?
Yeah, first of all, we have to think about the extension of it, right? So there are ways to measure how dangerous floods are. In our state, because of each place you have different ways to measure that, right? It's about 10 feet. When it gets to 10 feet, it's inundation. It's going to be, the river or whatever is going to overflow. Right now, it got to almost 20 feet. So it's a lot of rain. I listened to a couple of podcasts and also saw a couple of videos in which they show it's an El Nino movement. I don't know if you guys read about that for this event.
No,
specifically.
not for that
No, I
event.
didn't know.
Right, so-
I've heard of El
Yeah,
Nino
because of
before.
humidity
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
from Amazon. Think about that, man. We are talking about 2,000, 3,000 miles from there, but all the humidity coming from the Amazon, the clouds wouldn't dissipate. This humidity comes, and then it rains more in 2 or 3 days than it rained the whole
Non-stop.
month of May. Now it's start raining again. So when it rains, it pours. That's so. I would say that nature definitely, in this case, it's been 83 years, right? So it surprises me also that it hasn't
It's
happened
been that long.
more.
It's
that long.
cyclical, right? So
And it's gotta be
now-
cyclical. It's always in May, the same days that happened
well,
83 years ago.
did
it
it
happened
happen?
the same days.
Did it happen prior, like 40 years before?
It had.
1940?
We had. Okay, you see, 1941 they built a wall. See, it works. The wall works, right? So they built a wall, and then for decades, since I'm 50, since I was 15, I heard, this is the worst wall ever. We should put it down. And then people keep saying, no, you can't put it down. So they renovated the whole area there, and there's a lot of entertainment going on, right? But the wall was still there, right? Thanks to the walls, the city could resist 1 or 2 more days, and more people could evacuate. So
Okay.
yeah,
So the wall served like a barricade kind of thing.
it is. It is. I don't know how long it is, but
But then
it's,
it
gas a mile.
Overflows
or
the
no.
wall now? It kind of-
It went over everything,
Yeah.
surrounding it. Man, the amount of water. I don't know how many videos. If you guys have seen some videos,
I saw some. Yeah.
man, places I would walk.
We get it right from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Places I would walk. I mean, the whole time downtown. We were talking about 10 feet.
Yeah, you'd be in a boat.
There are boats and jet skis and like large boats in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
So that's shocking. I think
It is shocking.
it is shocking. So far, 100 people have died, but the numbers are going to be much higher than that. Some people are speculating it's going to be the largest disaster in Brazil's history, which is 503. It happened. That we know since it's been registered, right? So probably they're way worse. But the one in Brumadinho, I think, or something
That
like this.
was pretty bad.
Yeah, so
That
a
was the dam
a
that-
dam went down.
Damn, yeah.
But there are more than 300 people missing.
Yeah. Once it clears and they can start looking into more of that, it's going to be a while before you get those numbers. Devastating.
Yeah, and worse than that, it's a very contaminated river. So all
gonna
the
say that.
feces are there.
Yeah.
So if it were clean, I would understand, but because it's so dirty, I'm very concerned about viruses, bacteria, all germs in general.
I didn't
Another
even think about that, honestly.
Well,
I
I
was
didn't-
thinking
I
about-
didn't-
even if it was clean, like once it starts flooding like that and things come together, that's always an issue. E. coli, all kinds of nasty stuff
Exactly.
in the water. You got
It-
cuts and bruises and things. You get it, and that you start getting bacterial infections.
You can't drink the water either,
no.
So people are going without water.
right?
Yeah, well, this is a whole new thing that is happening right now. There are very okay. We are talking about a tragedy, right? But from tragedy, I want to talk to you guys later. Is about the empathy and the altruism I've been seeing from absolutely almost all my friends. Like, I don't remember, maybe because it's social media potentializes that, but I've never seen so many people. Man, nobody posts about anything else. Nobody. People are 24/7, basically not sleeping to help others. I am sure this happens in poorest countries all the time.
It happened here.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
People come together.
yeah, people come together, but I'll tell you, man, it's a
Not
catastrophe
always
I've never
government
heard about.
does, for people, but yeah.
Well, even when like the fires and stuff happened in Hawaii, I still don't think any of that was like fully resolved as far as like rebuilding everything. The government doesn't help the way it should.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. The last time that I remember a significant event that happened where people came together was 9/11 for the U.S.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "What can I do to support?"
Same page.
From California. I mean, where I was living, we would constantly donate and
So
Mhm.
how can we help, and everyone was
There-
proud to wave, American flags. And I think that's what's happening now is that the people,
Togetherness.
the togetherness of the people helping each other, resolve, try and mitigate the situation and help out in these situations.
To a smaller scale, a little bit with Katrina, everybody did come, and then the Saints, the
True,
New Orleans Saints
true.
ended up winning the Super Bowl that year, so it was just like a really good story that wrapped all the way around. But they were displaced even, and it's one of those things. They set up funds and everybody donates, but definitely not to the extent of 9/11 was a completely another level of, bringing everyone together, especially like sporting events. Every time any sporting event would happen afterwards, the way everybody when they'd say the national anthem and stuff, you could kind of just feel the crowd really together.
Felt different. Yeah.
It did feel different.
And it's also, of course, you have to understand, right? It's in New York, man. It's just like if you're not protected in New York, where would you be protected? So
And I
it's.
was 4 years old. I mean, I hardly remember it other than just rewatching stuff.
Do you remember Do you remember the
Yeah.
day, the time you
Yeah,
were
I
told?
did.
Do you remember that?
I was in pre-K, yeah, but they like had to bring someone in to tell us something had happened. Yeah, I was 4 years old.
And you remember that?
Yeah, because they had to bring in, they used to have like those big box TVs and they'd wheel it in on a cart or
Yeah.
whatever, and they had to like play the news for us to see. Everybody was kind of freaking
And,
out.
and you?
I was getting ready to do schoolwork, and my dad woke up and was like, "Let's just turn on the news." And ever since I've known him, he's never just like woken up and like, "I want to watch TV in bed." That's not his style. But that day he was like, and I've always remembered that was the weirdest thing. Turned it on and you see
How old were you?
I was like 10, 11 at the
It was
time.
2001.
But you remember. You remember.
Oh yeah,
vividly.
vividly. And I mean
Buy me a Coke.
I know, yeah. But my dad was like, let's watch the news. And as soon as we turned it on, and for whatever reason, it was just like, let's all watch the news. I've never heard my dad.
Well, it was early in the morning.
It was early in the morning, and for him to say like, let's turn on the TV and watch the news that day, something was off. So we're all sitting there, and then it's like, oh God, a plane just struck, and we're all, standing by the TV watching, and then another plane hits. We're like, what is happening? And then the towers collapse. Yeah, I remember that.
I was
What happened?
working.
Everyone was wondering if there's going to be more,
Yeah.
I was working, and then we kind of stopped, and then found a way of watching it. Like the whole office. So I was at work.
What about you?
I was in the office, and I was just starting to work for this company, a branch from this auditing company, right? So I just started working there. And I remember I was on the internet. I was the one who saw the first in the office. Big office, right? Big office. And then I just packed my things, start calling my girlfriend at the time, my mother, say something huge is going. I'm leaving. Like everybody, what's going on? Yeah, so something's going on in New York. I just left. I just left the office.
Yeah.
Went to see my family. I truly thought, okay, this is big. When I saw the second one happening, internet wasn't.
But what city were you at?
I was in Porto Alegre.
Okay.
I was in Porto Alegre working for.
I was in São Paulo.
So think about it. In the internet, well, actually, the internet promoted a lot, right? So this was one of the first events, biggest events in the history of the U.S.
Yep.
And the internet was incipient, but it was already established, right? So you got in Brazil in 5 minutes, I think, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So that caught my attention. So yeah. So this kind of events, I think it's in Porto Alegre is every single person will remember this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, posting, and then, and of course, our audience is kind of small, and then it's in the U.S. But if you know a Brazilian person, that person will have a way of connecting you to the right people to help. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
$10, that would help.
Trustful, right? Like trust sources.
If you know a Brazilian, reach out to the Brazilian person that you know. They will have a way of saying, just transfer the money to that, account that is taking the donations, so they can buy supplies. Because people, they lost everything.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of people. It's not like one person lost everything and then you're trying to help one person. You're trying to help a whole.
At least
whole
200,000 people.
Yeah. It's a lot of people that lost everything. It's not like, I was able to pick up my documents. No. Yeah. Sometimes not even that. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
But I changed topic. I changed subjects because you asked, why do you think it happens? Why did this happen at this proportion? And also, what can you do in the future, right? Man, this is not the time to point out fingers, right? So because it's right now what everyone can do is just help the way you can.
But you did answer that. You said it was like 2 days rain or
one of the reasons, yes,
nature,
nature, right? But I think there are more things that happen. I think people were lenient. It's been 83 years here. 4 days before everybody knew this would happen. So I think everyone involved, population in general, I'm not going to do it. It's not going to be that. It's not going to be that bad. Yeah, I've been here for 50 years. Nothing has ever happened. The government.
Until it does.
Yes, the government also was absolutely super, like, speed minus 10 to solve the situation, to respond, So this lenience was a big problem in there, I think. It's okay. We're going to manage this, but not this time, because when the water comes, the water,
it doesn't
goes up really fast, and people don't have the time to save it what they wanted,
People normally say that fire is very destructive, and I say, well, there's one thing that beats fire. It's water. Water is the strongest
element
in nature. It is the strongest. It doesn't matter. It ruins everything, and it's so strong that it puts out fire. You know what I mean? If you have enough water, it puts out fire.
That's why you see the Grand Canyon. That was water.
Yeah.
Look how big of a.
Yeah, all the shapes. Yeah.
And how deep. That was water that carve through the rock. Over
Water
time.
cuts
Everything.
stone. Cuts
Isn't it
everything.
a game like water stone?
water.
What is this game,
Water is
man?
too strong, man.
Yeah.
And then
It is.
and 70% of the world is water.
Yeah,
Right.
surface.
The surface.
Surface, yeah.
We talked about that last
Yeah,
week. or
yeah.
week before.
Yeah.
And
It's a lot of water, though.
yeah, so lenience, I think it's a little. I think this should be.
But it's everywhere. Yeah, I mean, New Orleans was lenient on a malfunction. Houston was lenient
Levy
on
or something.
on the levy. So there's always something where,
Well,
unfortunately, situations like this happen.
smaller scale, like 2 years ago, roughly, we had a tornado roll through here. And
Yeah.
Central Texas, we don't get a lot of tornadoes.
It was
We
bad.
always get tornado watches that then turn into a warning. And you're kind of like, oh, it's fine. It's no big deal. It went like a half mile by my apartment.
I know
Same here.
from friends too. Yeah.
I was just, my fiance's mom had a daughter that she lost in a tornado when they lived in Oklahoma whenever she was in her late 20s. And so she's always like very scared about tornadoes. When it was coming, she's calling us, texting us, please get away from the window, please protect. And I'm like, Janet, calm down. It's just a warning. It's like you're saying, it's leniency. Like we're all guilty of it. And I was not really making jokes, but I was telling Stan, like, we're fine. And then as it turns out, it was like a quarter mile. It just zipped right past us. And it turned right. It could have gone right through our building.
Yeah.
And then we went outside.
And this thing's move so fast, right?
It devastated a couple areas. Like there wasn't large devastation with houses necessarily. Some, but there was some.
I put floors on the house that was
Destroyed?
hedged. Yeah. And I went on that neighborhood. There was one house that had one wall. And it was one wall that they made out of bricks.
Like stone, brick.
Yeah. And everything else was gone.
That's why I say smaller scale. It might have been 5-10 houses compared to 200,000 people displaced, but nonetheless, it's people that are like, oh, it's fine.
And the thing is, I was sitting here working, and Alex was here with me. He was sitting there where you normally, where you're
Where I
sitting
sit.
now. On this, he used this table here. And then he went outside. The noise was too loud, and then he went outside at Hilton. It's raining sideways.
I remember looking through
The
the
rain
window.
is
I
coming
remember that.
sideways. It's not like coming from the top. And then I said, well, it's very strong winds then. But it was actually
We
a
actually
tornado.
have like tornado sirens and stuff too, but I don't even remember hearing them. But I remember
it was
hearing.
2 miles from here on a straight line.
I remember hearing
Exactly.
the
It was
wind.
very close.
Like
yeah.
right, but where 35 meets 45 right there, there's like a PetSmart, a Ross. All of those businesses were closed for almost a year, like 8 months. They were so devastated, they had to be renovated, and they probably just didn't have the money to do it. It was like commercial leasing space, but all of that got destroyed. The Walmart, it all got
Home Depot.
screwed. The Home Depot,
Yeah.
yeah. So for a while, all of the glass was just destroyed.
And if it had hit me, I would potentially still be working, but from my house, not here.
Yeah, I mean, we.
And then I would have find get new samples and then see the customer. Wow, I don't have a showroom
right
now.
by Kalahari.
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 Yeah.
Right by past Kalahari, there's a track. I run there, and I went in the following day. What called my attention is how powerful it is. Like big, gigantic centenary trees,
Dude.
torn. Torn. Have you seen this?
Those-
Have you seen it?
Big like commercial dumpsters.
Uh-huh.
I remember going down the service road of 45, and one was just like on the side of the road by the sidewalk. Like it got picked up and just dropped off right there, probably from like Home Depot or one of those. And I remember seeing that, like, Jesus Christ! Like
It's a heavy thing.
threw it around like a kite in the wind.
I have a weird obsession. If I'm afraid of something, I want to know more about it, and I'm terrified of tornadoes.
Oh, okay.
And so it started from movies. All of my weird
Twisters.
Sharknado.
Twisters. now.
yeah, Twisters now, but Twister scared
Yeah.
the living crap out of me.
Right.
Jaws scared the living crap out of me of sharks, but I
love
love
that movie.
study, and I love Jaws too. But put me in the ocean.
No, I don't.
It ain't
I don't mess
happening.
around with sharks.
You guys
Yeah,
are
but
watching that. Oh, I was just talking about the realtor today about
why you don't like
Why I don't
Scuba
like
diving.
scuba diving?
Yeah.
Probably it's because of that movie.
sharks?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to. You were saying like claustrophobia and stuff too, which probably the same. But like, I would not go scuba diving in the ocean. She said they went on some excursion with hammerhead sharks and killer whales, and they're like,
Yeah.
Not me.
people go down in the cages to look at sharks. I'm not that interested.
No.
I'll look from above.
No,
It's beautiful.
I'll watch a video.
Man,
I'm happy to watch the
Man,
video.
I watched it on
I'll
8K
watch
TV. It was
Shark Week.
amazing.
Every year we have
Watch
Shark
the
Week.
movies.
That checks all my boxes for shark content. I don't
Yes.
need to go see it up close.
Exactly. And I
Totally.
agree.
I understand. But you know what?
Those
The one who scared me the
freak me
most?
out.
Piranhas.
Oh,
Piranhas.
That
Piranhas.
one
Oh my
is-
god! Like 1, 2, 3, 4. I was a kid. Oh come on!
No,
If you watch now, it's kind of funny because
It's
they fly.
ridiculous.
They
Yeah.
fly funny.
They fly.
Yeah, they fly funny.
But at that time, I
At
said
that
I will
time.
never
It's like
get
if you
into water ever in my whole
Are
life.
they gonna
Yeah.
attack your foot? Really? Is that how that works? Or
If you're bleeding,
well, only
They
if
go
you're
to
bleeding,
only
if you're bleeding,
similar to sharks, they're attracted to blood.
exactly,
yeah,
attracted blood, yeah.
yes.
So they would see like this little piece. Remember, like the beginning of the movie is just like a drop of blood coming to the water down.
Like
What?
the movie with Samuel Anaconda.
Mhm.
I don't mess with that either. Like reptiles in general, sharks. All I'm not.
Anaconda is in Brazil. Yeah, they are.
Oh,
huge.
dude, I'm not a fan.
By the way, there was a alligator
No, thank
fly.
you.
Like have you seen that part?
So that's why I wouldn't want to live
right
in
by
Florida.
Mind Jails, the hospital,
Exactly, mind you, Deus, exactly.
It's a big old gator.
Yeah.
in the water from the river.
And then the news said, "Oh, you don't
in the
have
middle
to
of the
worry."
city.
Yeah,
In the middle of the city.
You don't have to worry about it because he won't attack you unless you attack it first. I won't have any chance nearby an alligator. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want to know my odds. Right there. I mean, the place I drink coffee was
If
right
your-
there.
Your house is flooding. You got to try and remember
There's
to
more
grab
damage to
stuff.
you.
Then it's fine.
Grab your guns. You never know if you're gonna come across a gator like that.
Okay.
That would freak me the fuck out.
Okay, let me tell you something. You just mentioned something which is guns. I follow extremely right, extremely left, right?
Sure.
And one of the things that is happening right now is looting. Like,
Always is a negative
That
side effect of this.
but you know what? One thing is like you read a book. I'm listening to the history of the United States now. I've seen what looting is describing very graphically.
What's
Yeah.
the word?
Looting,
Looting.
What is that?
like stealing. It's a,
Obando.
Enjoy
Okay,
the
okay,
moment.
yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
moment is
yeah,
happening. It's just this very specific word
Slashing
for
grab.
It's what
that.
you do when you're gaming. So you go about you
Yeah.
loot so that you find stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. So it's a good.
not as nice, but
I
yeah,
understand
Yeah.
the word now. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that is.
I read it. We watch movies about that, but having a real video, guys filming that being shot,
Yeah.
it's insane. So the guys that said, you see, we need the National Guard here, we need the army here. The guy is desperate because people are still need to be saved, and they're absolutely just stealing the jet skis, stealing
I'm sure.
boats, people, killing people. And
That's
it's a
in
faction.
Porto Alegre. I saw that today.
Yes. So,
It's like
Fucked up.
why? I mean, all of that happening, and then you have another set of, MFs.
concern.
I just
Yeah.
Another set of MFs. Not to say the word motherfuckers.
Yes. Which
do
word?
not
Yeah.
say.
Which word? Which word?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
doing that kind of stuff, man.
I just said, like, let
That's
the
why
population
people,
decide.
man.
Let the population decide.
People.
Well, so
Yeah.
and
To do with them.
it's funny. You remember my neighbor across the street, my old
Mhm.
house. I won't say his name. He went down to help Houston
Mhm.
for Hurricane Harvey. First thing he did was he bought a gun.
He's a cool guy, though.
He's a
Yes.
very cool guy, but he bought a gun.
He-
And he went around helping. He's like, I never had to use it, but I just had it with me just in case, because he goes,
You never know.
you never know. So many people would, and he's like, I've heard
Big city.
stories. It's a big city. Everyone has it. And can you imagine? Hey, let me help you. No, give me your boat. Give me this. People get desperate, or they take
Yeah.
advantage of
But
poor people in this situation.
In the caves that George is talking about, it's not that. it's there was like a mass,
Looting
not
is-
mass, there's like shooting, like exchanging. You know,
Probably there are laws that probably they incriminate them in a much worse way than regular crimes, right? Probably, I guess the law must contemplate this. Like, okay, guys who do that is looting. Looting is not just stealing.
Oh, I don't know the laws,
The laws.
in Brazil, but here in the United States, like if you have a pack of water, and normally a pack of water is $5, but during times of
Price
emergency,
gouging?
Yes,
price gouging,
Yes,
I think if there's a if there's some type of emergency and you commit a crime, the penalties are more
exactly.
What,
Double, triple.
accelerated,
yeah.
federal or something.
At least I know price gouging. I know that is something, especially here in Texas after Harvey. I mean, a pack of water, $2-3 at HEB. People were reselling it for like $200-$300, trying to take advantage. They're like, if we
That's
catch you do
ridiculous.
that, you're going to go to jail.
Shot
Yeah.
on sight. You get
So-
caught by the wrong people.
Yeah.
That was happening during COVID too, though. Like in California areas, is smash and grabs. And that was happening all the time. Like businesses were getting looted like crazy. And I don't know. I don't know what they do with the punishment on that, how that works if you're caught. But
Yeah.
Because let's face it, it's
people take advantage.
Isn't that sad?
man, this is
Yeah, it
like-
is sad. It's
this is
fucked up.
inhumane, right? So it's
Yeah.
like
You're always gonna have people like that, though. Unfortunately.
You get a terrible situation, and then you see the beautiful side of people helping each other. And then
the
you see-
same exactly. I was gonna say the same people, right? The same way you see what George was just saying.
Camaraderie.
Yeah,
Camaraderie, yes.
people coming together. You see people coming apart.
Yes.
because these people thrive in situations like this. All they, like it's not that they want it, but well, since the opportunity is there and it's so easy to grab, why not doing that? See, once you have this national feeling of insecurity
Yeah.
and impunity, so you know what?
And
It's gonna be probably pardon or something like that.
Yeah. a little bit of mob mentality too. You start
Yes.
seeing a lot of other people do it, like, well, I'll do it too. Then, like,
Yeah.
that's people
Yeah.
just kind of flock. So
And then people
Yeah,
are afraid
it's
to take
not
their
right.
it
votes.
doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it right. That's the
Yeah.
depressing side of it.
It is, right? Another thing that I noticed is that the level of information and misinformation we are having about it. Sometimes in some groups, I prefer not to talk about it. Come on, I'm in Texas, I'm safe. And then I post something that, the airport is going to be closed for 30 days. Do you think anyone is thinking about traveling right now? So I realized that I have to be very careful with the big data. Too much information. You scare, you create. Okay, we know it's serious, but
And just
if
panic.
if you succumb to fear, then it's
Yeah.
much worse. So the misinformation. Also, just one case that I heard that a famous Brazilian big
He
Big
is
Brother.
famous.
Huh?
He is kinda famous.
Yeah, it's kind of famous. Okay, and then
No,
he,
he is, yeah.
yeah, and then
From Big Brother.
yeah. So I don't know if you win, if you won or not.
But
Anyway.
Big Brother Brazil, the whole other level.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Is it even better?
Oh man, you
It's-
have no
it's
idea.
Better.
It's
It's
Big Brother,
it's hard
it's
to
just-
define.
I'm a big
define
fan
better.
of the show. I think it's an amazing concept, but it's just with Brazilians,
Yeah,
Man,
obviously.
It's on steroids.
it's
Hypersexualized.
Oh, okay.
Hypersexualized.
The
Now
thing
it's
is,
all
is
celebrity.
Spain
Sounds
was
Brazilian
more.
to me.
Yeah.
Hypersexual.
Spain was wilder,
Really?
and then they got some Spanish girls and they traded in, and then they
Yes.
they put like some Brazilian in the Spanish house. and
Because
then they
why not?
Swapped them to Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Swap
then
Brazilians
that
and
got.
Spanish.
They saw an opportunity.
But then
Yeah, you see
that
that?
thing got wild.
Same thing. Looters.
Okay. So
With what? Just
that's how-
confrontation and sex and
Yeah.
everything?
everything.
Man,
but it's a cult following, I would say. Like, especially in my house, it's like, oh, did you hear BBB? This is happening now. And it's
Oh,
like,
okay, everybody
my
watches
gosh.
exactly. It's,
If you want to get views, you gotta mention BBV.
Yeah.
and
Big
this
Brother
guy,
Brazil.
so this guy, right? So he
Wish I knew.
he wanted to help, but
Portuguese.
he's promoting himself, his name, and that, and then he's spreading
Misinformation.
misinformation. He said that the police is
Which guy is this? Sorry to interrupt.
I just don't want to say it, his
Oh, okay.
name.
Yeah, you don't want to give him any.
Is he
Right.
is he the surfer? Can I say
Right.
that?
No, I wouldn't say it just because you don't want to give him any attention, right?
Okay. Okay.
So
Fuck that guy.
yeah, so basically he said that the policemen are in anyone who wants to share their jet skis or boats, they are checking whether you have license or not. So people stop taking their life because in Brazil it's
Which
different.
they're not probably even doing, right? It's just like scaring people.
No, that's the point. Of course, the police needed to spend time, think about going to the media and say that, like the governments, they are politicizing everything. So instead of concentrating on, fixing what's wrong, they have to go to public and spend time explaining a lot of things that shouldn't be explained because of the misinformation.
Okay.
So, for example, you have
Waste of resources. It's like wasting the resources.
wasting resources and creating panic.
Well, and so I wanted to ask you this too, because this was brought up to my attention, and I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't heard that a lot of the trucks that are trying to bring in supplies have to go to the weigh stations and announce what they have, and they're saying that because they're overburdened or they have too much, now they have to pay fines and fees for transporting these water bottles and extra food and stuff like that.
True. This is misinformation because most of the posts that I hear, they say, "Hey, this is not right. We still need unperishable food. We still need water." You see, 70% of the region don't have water at all, so it's a lie. So you see, there's a kind of a seal from the government saying, "Hey, this is." So now you have to check with the official before you post. They recommend check with the officials to say if that's true or not.
Right.
I mean, I am sure some of these things might be true. One or two people might be
What
doing
if
this.
people gain from that? Just being trolls? Just like trolling to make people panic? Just they get something out of it?
I really don't know. Probably you
Think
gotta
it's
have.
funny?
Well, it's controversy. You get desperate people
Engagement.
wanting to be
They need
more
engagement.
famous. You know what I mean? And they need to be relevant, and then they talk.
They want clicks. They want
They
clicks.
talk BS. You know what I mean? It's,
They want likes. They want clicks. They want
they want
you know,
clicks.
an audience. And then, man,
Engagement farming.
as we mentioned
Even
before,
like reporters. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they
The
go
news
like
needed.
yeah,
The news needed.
the news reader, they go like talking about something like, that's a lie, and then you go and try to find the facts. It's actually not a lie. It was real. What somebody, let's say somebody saying like, well, the trucks are being stopped because they're not allowing it to go through. It's overweight.
That's what I just said.
The trucks are trying to get through to places, and then the news reader is like, that's a lie, and then you go and check the facts, and like,
Not a lot.
no, actually, it is a lie. There is a video of the police stopping a truck and saying, no, you gotta split in two trucks because it's overweight. You know what I mean? And then it's like, and you can see with your own eyes. You know what I mean? And
Right.
why the news reader,
ridiculous.
doing that?
But it's pretty polemic, right? Because look, there must be some kind of a control in this, right?
Law and order. There has to be law and order.
You see, because we don't know what's being brought, how many people are trying to take advantage of think about that. You lost everything. You are in a position that a drug might, make you suffer less for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
So you are
You're
very
desperate and
vulnerable.
vulnerable.
You're super vulnerable. So this is the time for these guys, the looters, also the traffickers, right? The traffic dealers to.
Yeah, let's say they
You gotta-
put
you
half
gotta pay
of the
attention to
truck. That's the thing. It's like the police is trying to do their job, or the infrastructure, whatever it is. They're trying to do their job, which is normal life. And then you go, well, yeah, but I'm trying to help. Everything in this truck in here is good to help people. But then you get the looters, right? With half of it is cocaine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, that's gonna get passed. You know what I mean?
For sure, if you are, remember when
So that's the problem.
That is a problem.
That's a problem.
That's interesting.
So
Yeah.
it's like, yes, is it wrong for them to be stopping the trucks? Or is it
need
right?
to.
We don't know
That's
because there's people involved.
That's just twisting information, though. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like on a broad scale of trucks are being stopped, goods aren't being allowed to come in. It's not. That's not the reasoning, right? So if we're going to talk about what's going on, let's talk about the truth of why. You know, so it's a disaster when we just let anything come in. We already see how people will take advantage. So of course, other stuff's going to flood in, and you can't allow that. So there's got to be. It's like checks and balances with things. So
But we're in order, as you mentioned. Think about this, right? So think about a traffic dealer. He's got a stock that he needs to get rid of it,
sure,
and he doesn't know what to do. This is the perfect
flood it there.
flooded there, right? So we have it there, and let's say we're talking
I
about.
have some flooring here to sell. I'll sell it across.
Oh my God! But think
No
about
price gouging.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No price gouging. I'll sell it at a discount.
Yeah.
I'd donate it, but it's like you can't donate. It costs
It's gonna
something to
get
get
stopped.
it there. Is the thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
And what concerns me is this, think about a traffic dealer, right? So if you have I don't know, let's say half a ton in drugs,
that's a lot,
Right.
but yeah.
which is millions.
Jesus, it's a
No,
lot.
you don't know. Maybe it's in 10 trucks. 10 trucks is not much.
Not much. Yeah.
Not much. 10 trucks, okay? So you know how this business are done, right? So you go all the way up. Police is involved.
yes.
Politicians are involved. This guy says, okay, we finally have our goal here. I know, I know this is an extreme, but in extreme situations is that we're going to have something like this. This guy's the water might be over their properties and they have to get rid of it as fast as possible. A truck like this in this moment, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity.
Boating things around, even. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can get around the city in a boat.
And then you're gonna have free pass because the police is everyone is so concerned about that thing happening. Then a lot of
Everything
crimes.
else gets
It's just
overseen.
a negative side effect of
Yes.
this type of a disaster.
Yeah.
We could you see. I also took notes here of unpreparedness in maintenance. There are a lot of cases that a lot of technicals. I know technicals are coming and saying, "Hey, the gates didn't."
Technicians.
The technicians,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, you show the technicians, right? So they are just saying, right? So, the gate didn't close as it should.
Like floodgates.
Floodgates. So a lot of those didn't work properly. The maintenance haven't been done for a long time.
Okay.
So-
things got overlooked. Oh, we haven't had a flood in a long time.
Yeah,
That's
so-
costing local municipal resources and money. So whatever. We don't need to check the floodgate. We don't need to do this. And then when a disaster does happen, They're gonna reap the consequences
maintenance
of
was
these
a big
Save,
problem.
save the money on this item, because for the last 15 years we didn't get any flood. So
and we could use that X, Y, and Z these other places. We don't have
Yeah.
to worry about that. And then it only becomes a problem when it becomes a problem. Whenever
But I
a
mean-
flood
I
is.
mean-
and now
But that
the
could happen
asphalt,
with anything. That's
and right
all
now
too
the
common.
asphalt is not even being used, and they kind of
resurfacing roads.
they resurfaced the road. When actually with the floodgate.
But
that'd be
builders,
better.
right, man?
But how would you know?
they need a business too?
Well, and that's what I was going to say. I mean, it was like
Hindsight being 2020.
because I was just going to say our guest talking about the computer
Yeah, Richard.
Cybersecurity.
cybersecurity.
I was thinking about him too.
I
right
would
now,
love
yeah.
to have him back.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
he's
here
like,
we come. Here we come.
he's like, you
It's just-
should do it.
Hey,
We
Richard,
invite- we
if you're
invite
there, if you get this far, please come and
Send you
visit
a
us
look.
again. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're welcome here.
but I mean, to that point, he
I'll
keeps
buy
bringing
beer.
up like, hey, you should take these precautions, have this set up, da 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 da, especially selling to these businesses.
Yeah.
And they go like, but it hasn't happened yet. We're not going to do that risk.
Selling hopes and whatever you said on that podcast. Like,
Yeah.
That's the problem with it. You're selling people on something that can happen, that could happen, but it doesn't seem like it's reality, and it's only a problem after it happens.
Yeah, and I mean that's
That's a great connection.
yeah. That's how the
And because
Yeah,
of
that's-
all of this, I think we get a kind of a black swan there, like unpreparedness, lack of maintenance,
Oh,
the
yeah.
leniency, the speed in which the government responded to that. 4 days before they knew it, they could have done a much better job with this. All this,
Yeah.
all this thing happened. I think
Culmination of everything.
it's a perfect storm,
yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
and everyone is gonna remember that. But you know what? In the end, too, right? So I think we know all of this. There's misinformation, the looting, everything bad came with that. But I think the message should be: people got together, man.
I was
People
going to
got
say this,
together.
if you focus on the positive,
Yes, that's what I would say. And in a positive way. Before we move to sports and stuff.
try to.
Right? Yeah, and try to remember how many people actually,
Came together.
came together, like from different governments from different states. They send, they send
countries too.
countries to Uruguay, tried to do it, and then there's a political debate on that if the government rejected or not the helicopters and all these planes. You see that players, celebrities, sending their jets. There is one story that I want to give the credit to one of the guys. Okay, so he's a center forward for Grêmio now. I'm going to mention his name because he deserved that. Diego Costa. He played in Europe for big teams, Atletico de Madrid and Chelsea, and he lives in one of the areas that was affected. He knocked on the guy's door. He know the guys have jet skis, but the guy was scared. He's been doing that for 3 days, 4 days. He just goes back and saves. I think the guy said he saved at least 50 families.
Good for him, man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I think it's worth it. He didn't pick up big truck. No. He was there. Okay, I'm here. That's what I can do, and he just did the job. And everyone in the club loves him right now.
Good.
And he didn't say anything. People were actually speaking
It
about him.
speaks more. It's really, you don't need to.
And
Talk
another
about
person who we found out has done a ton of donations and helping out, Neymar. Didn't post it on any social media, didn't post it on Instagram
Only
because
after.
a lot of people were like, what has Neymar done? What is this? And then they come to find out he's spent millions of dollars on food and
2,000
water.
kilos in water and food. Yeah,
and
in
he's
his
like,
airplane.
I don't need to post my,
Yeah.
my intentions.
I'm just
gonna
writing
do it.
about just to let you know. And he said it only to incentive, right? To motivate, incentivize other people to do that.
Yeah.
So
So I give props to Neymar. I'm okay.
There's
I'm okay with him.
a lot of people posting, and even they're like French comedians, American comedians that live in Brazil now. They're posting because they are famous, right? They have social media. They're all posting on social media for people to donate, and then they are also donating themselves. So, and for example, I have a friend, and she has like 84,000 followers, and she's a good friend of mine, but she owns a bake gourmet in Rio, and she was like, if ever, just donate 10 reals.
Mhm.
It's 84,000 followers that I have. You know what I mean? And then I was like, oh, good for you, man. You're doing, a
For
good thing.
awareness.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do it. It's
She-
what you can do.
And she's like, she's doing that, and of course, she and her husband are donating, as well. So there's a lot of people helping. A lot of people
a
helping.
shout out to Raquel Quartiero. She's got more than 2 million followers, I think. She's in fitness. She's got a website that helps, especially elderly women. So she usually posts a lot, and it's been 4 or 5 days. All her posts were regarding not to spread misinformation, where to go. Her whole team helped. So this kind of people we want to see more of this to compensate all these problems. The population at the end like reacted to that, and there is a kind of a right now this feeling of lack of hope, but it's gonna pass. It's gonna pass, and the world is with Porto Alegre.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sports.
Sport.
Formula One. We went to Formula. We watched it together.
Well,
Yes.
you almost didn't, right? Because we were playing with the girls.
Oh man, I was having fun with them. I had
Hey,
fun with them.
Wasn't that a nice
Oh, man,
experience though? Getting to
yeah,
watching
that's
it by yourself versus watching it with your friends. It's a lot more fun.
Oh, yeah. Because you can always come and there's always something new, perception of the what
Although
happened.
we have to take the elephant out of the room here. Mention that Conrad did not come. He was busy with his family. He could have been there. He could have brought the kids. The kids would have been playing together because my kids were there.
Shit on Conrad.
And then
There was a little bit of misinformation.
oh my God! Speaking about misinformation,
Yeah.
but you know what? The good things about going to those meetings, you have me there, right? So the kids, you're gonna have like 2
Oh,
or
yeah,
3
they
hours
love
by.
you, George. Yeah.
Man, George played so much. We got before getting there. We stopped to get like a hamburger, and then we got a kids meal, and it came with a pack of cards to play memory games.
Oh, really?
Just a regular one, just a simple one, right?
You know, where it's like all the cards are turned over and you flip
Yeah.
one and it's
Yeah.
a burger. Then
You got to
flip,
match.
You're trying to match, right?
Yeah.
It's a
But that was
memory
kind
game.
of a cool.
It's really
game.
nice. I played so many games before the race started because I got there an hour before. It's just because we had
Good time.
yeah. And then when George came in, it's like he just took over the game, and it was like, okay, so they created games.
We made
out
up
of the
games,
card.
right?
By the time
mini
I
games.
got there,
Yeah.
it was no longer memory card game. I didn't even know what the game was when I walked in.
We are alternating. Like, okay, I'm gonna make up a game now, and I will explain the rules, and then we play. That was me. Then is Lily. Then is Alice. So
they
it was
were
just
like,
that.
creating games with the card game, and
Oh, that's
they
really
had so
cool.
much fun. Yeah.
That's
Yes.
really cool.
Great pastime.
Stuffed animals. We had it all.
Yeah.
And I showed up a little bit late, but I did show up.
Yeah, we almost didn't have any space to put beer. On
Yeah.
the table.
It's a real problem.
Were you guys upstairs
Yes.
in the main area?
Well, yeah, because on the first floor.
Oh yeah, there's not really.
There's no seating on the
It's
first
the,
floor.
it's the brewing. It's the factory.
Why do you
upstairs
call
bar.
Sen? Why do you call Prost? The name
Because,
is. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just
But
making.
Because
I know the owner, and
Prost
actually
is German.
the owner
play on words.
The owner
Prost, yeah.
comes in.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the owner comes in, and then
Prost.
very first table he sits on, it's our table.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
And then even though next to us are like two marshals from the Formula One, he sits at our table to talk
Yeah,
to
they're
us.
marshals at Coda that he's friends with. Because the owner of Prost is
He races.
He's a racer.
Yeah.
But he didn't sit with the guys. He sat with the guys afterwards. He sat
Yes.
with us for about 25 minutes.
Yes.
And it's like he sees me because he's a good. We became kind of.
I beat Piquet, right? So of course he knows me. Everybody knows me in this area, this field.
So the
Of
reason.
course.
Of course.
The reason it's
As they
called
should.
Prost
Yeah.
is
Should I call you
because
Hilton or
because
Kilton?
when you toast in German,
PK killer.
it's Prost, right? When you toast in German, it's
Prost.
It's
And
Prost.
then Alan Prost. So it's a little bit of a play.
And then you have Alan Prost and his racing team, and all of the beers, not all of the beers, most of the beers are German
style and
style beer, like all of the ingredients and the brewing style.
And I mean,
And they're really good.
they support a lot of local businesses too. They've
Yeah.
got like coffee stouts and stuff that pulls from West Pecan Coffee Bar. Like it pulls from all
I
these local
love-
businesses.
I love that coffee shop too.
I do too. I go every time I'm over there. I stop and get stuff with Sam. She
Good.
didn't come this time, but I think it's cool. He supports all these local places. He pulls from and he makes stuff with it, and no, I really like that place.
So he sat with us, and then we talked quite a bit and watching the race, and then he sat with, and then he introduced the guys to us, the Marshall guys. So it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Every time we go there, man, and there's something interesting. He's always bringing somebody very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time I talked to a doctor
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
curing cancer or something.
Yeah, the dog.
Octopuses.
No,
Dude,
he's
it was
like-
amazing.
he's-
Jellyfish.
Yeah, jellyfish, yeah.
Yeah,
It
he's
was a
actually
crazy
seeking
Immortality.
Immortality, yeah. And he said they're getting close, like, probably nominal when he says close. His version of close is probably different from it, but they're cracking some sort of code on that. Like, we're getting somewhere on there.
Well, close might be 150 years, but yeah, that is close. You know,
We have
when
more
you
of an
see the
understanding
age.
now
Yeah.
than we ever had, which is, you could say that about probably anything, but it was a very interesting conversation, and all the stuff that he was talking about just goes right over your head, you know? But
It was
You just-
really difficult to
smile.
understand. Yeah.
yeah, you're like
Smiling
smiling
nod.
away, boys.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay. But no, it was very interesting.
But was to me, I think it was the most, high end conversation that I ever had. You know what I mean? Because it's so much more than I can understand.
Right.
So yeah.
As
But
you,
so how is? I'm sorry.
no, as Richards mentioned, just write down.
Oh, okay.
As Richards mentioned when you're out, he mentioned that. No, I think you're here with Richards. No, you were traveling, right?
I was here.
He was here, yeah. And he mentioned that there are levels and levels in in different professions, right? So
Yeah.
guys, these guys are great. Remember he mentioned that
Yeah.
like what they know,
Yeah.
17 hours a day, doing the same thing,
Yeah.
the same thing with this guy. Like it gets to a point where it's even it's difficult to communicate without using technical words.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see if they'll open up early, May 19th. It'll be an 8 a.m. race. And they don't open typically till 11.
11. Yeah. He
So I
probably
don't-
will. I'll
I
text
don't
him.
know.
The very first time the race was at 9, and I texted him like, Hilton, I found somebody to open up just because you said you're coming. It's like, no, I'm
We
not
can-
there.
We
Yeah.
bought quite a few pints.
Well,
Oh, good.
it's at 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
On race day, so Sunday.
So at the
Yeah.
19th, what day is the 19th? Is that
14th,
Sunday?
Yeah.
Probably
Probably,
13
right?
days.
So
Because
probably
it's
on
in,
that day we come podcast on that
Yes.
day.
It's in Italy. So will this be a Ferrari showcase? Carlos Sainz and
Wow.
It's a fast
Charles
track.
Leclerc
It could be McLaren's actually.
and McLaren.
McLaren won.
So,
Lando.
and then that's what I was gonna say. I did not look up anything about Formula One. I didn't. Just been busy with things.
Sure.
Who won the race?
Lando Norris of McLaren.
Get the hell out of here.
Yes.
Hilton's favorite racer.
One of. I mean, he's
One
an
of.
up and coming guy. He
Verstappen, he
hit a cone or something.
he probably made a mistake. He hit a cone. The base of the cone hit the back of the car just in front of the rear left wheel and damaged the airflow. So it
More so
was.
than that, though.
No.
Yeah.
I read something after it actually did consider a fair amount of damage to the whole undercarriage.
So, yes. Well, yeah. From the half the car to the it did hit pretty much.
It's kind of like his front.
It kind of
Left wheel
it
that
disrupted the airflow to the rear brakes, and of course, so yeah, he couldn't be with the same speed. The aerodynamics of the car, because the car is perfect as it is.
Right.
If
Yeah.
anything happens to it,
Disrupts.
it disrupts it.
So he did a good job then. Keeping
Yeah,
the second
given
position.
with the conditions of the car, initially he thought there was no damage, and it was afterwards when they inspired, like it actually did. A
But
decent
what
amount of
position
damage.
Checo finished?
Checo? Third?
Third. He was fifth for a
Or,
little while. Can you look it up?
yes, I will look it up. I want to say he ended up finishing. Maybe it was fifth. I think it was second and fifth, and then you had Charles Leclerc in third, and then or fourth. But actually, Carlos Sainz got a penalty, so he ended
Yeah.
up losing a position to Checo.
In Perez?
Perez. Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's
where
pull it
did
up.
Perez go?
Let's see here.
The last race.
So we had Lando Verstappen, Leclerc, and then it was Carlos
Sainz,
Sainz,
but he lost
and then
a few seconds.
Checo. No, it was actually I think flipped,
He was flipped. Yeah.
but because he had a
Sainz
penalty
got a penalty. Yeah.
from a Oscar Piastri from that interaction.
from that pushing out of the race.
He got a time penalty that dropped him into 5th, and Checo got 4th.
But you see,
Lewis Hamilton in 6th, though.
Coming,
See
making
that?
his way up.
See that?
Russell.
Yuki Tsunoda in 7th.
Man.
Wow.
I saw a meme like the fear of the Formula One drivers, right? And then of course, there's all of them that is something that they fear. And of course, Hamilton was like a guy, probably with a girlfriend kind of thing, like he doesn't fear anybody in the race. But then everybody else had a fear thing, and then Daniel Ricciardo's fear was
Like,
it was
through the roof.
It was Yuki Tsunoda. Like that was his fear factor. You know what I mean?
Why? Why is that?
Well,
because
he's
Yuki's doing so good.
Yeah.
And he finished 15th.
I like that.
So
I like
he's
that.
getting outperformed by his teammate.
Same car.
I saw a great meme, too, of this guy that was in, like, a little dinghy boat. Or, like, maybe it was a jet ski. I don't remember. But he was right in front of, like, a huge cargo, like, barge. And it was coming up on him, and then he starts laughing and pulls away. And it was, like, Lando, and then the big barge is Verstappen. Just, like, coming up behind him. It's, like, this huge ship. It's super scary. But then he just ended up... Because I was saying that when we were watching it there. Is like, Verstappen's behind you. That's a whole nother level of, like...
We discussed that.
We
Remember
discussed
that,
it.
yeah.
It's like, you just have to not make a mistake.
And I think it was like the last lap or something. I told you he's
was
there.
close
He's
to the end.
5 laps to the end. He's going to be there.
He was there for, it was like 15 laps to the end.
Yeah.
And the time
Who
kept saying,
knows?
there's 10 laps, then 5 laps. We're like, he's going to hold on.
Piastri had a good start. He went up to
Unfortunate.
second, and then he got
That's right.
disrupted on the very first corner.
Yes. By Checo, right? Was it caused by Checo's start?
No, it was somebody else. No,
Was-
Checo, yeah.
Wasn't
So,
he punished
Sergio
or
Perez.
something? No.
No, I
But
mean,
that-
he's
the
punished
thing-
by his result.
Yes,
I think
yeah.
in looking at it, we can see, McLaren, can disrupt something. And then the Ferrari, man, they are looking good.
Without the front wing damage, Piastri would have finished top 5.
Top 5. Yeah, they'll be in front of Hamilton.
For
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
So
Have to
McLaren's got something cooking.
He spent quite a lot of time in the pit changing the wing.
Yes.
So how many different races you have this year? 24. Last year too, right?
This last year was 22,
22. How
Yeah,
many
this
did
might be-
Verstappen
Might
win?
be 22 again.
19.
19.
Or, I don't know if Verstappen won. Yeah, Verstappen might have won 19,
Verstappen.
but then Red Bull won like 21 or something.
All right. So this
Something
year
like
is
that.
already more exciting than last year.
Also, up until this point, Haas has already scored the same amount. Did they finish in the top 10? Any Haas? No. So as of the last race, Haas has scored the same amount of points in 5 races than they had scored all last year.
Well, but Nico finished 11th, though. So
So
he
just
didn't
out-
score, yeah. But he
Just
didn't
outside of
finish.
the points. But if you look at their team points, the
Yes.
entire 22 race season
Uh-huh.
last year, I think they scored like 4 or 5 points. They're already at 5 points now, 5 races in, which isn't anything incredible at 5 points, but the fact that they're improving.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's time to have a conversation about drivers that don't belong here anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
Even though he scored a point, I'm going to say the first one, Ocon. Just retire, man.
Mhm.
I like you, though. You're a cool guy. But,
These guys, 1920. Logan Sargent, he's an American. He's the only American. He's not keeping up. He's going to lose his seat. 100% he's going to lose his seat.
Okay,
Get out.
Conrad, who needs to go?
Him, Logan. Sorry.
No. You got to say a different name.
Oh, a different name?
Yeah.
Definitely. You know who I don't
Let
like?
me point this one for you. Then.
I was just gonna say him.
Yeah.
Daddy Money Bucks over here is keeping him around because he owns the team, but
He races for his dad. His dad
Yeah.
owns the team.
And that's the only reason. That's
he's a walking meme of destruction. He
Yeah.
just crashes, and I can't imagine how much
He-
money he costs them with just crashing all
He
the fucking
needed
time.
to be gone 2 years ago.
What about
George.
I don't know, man.
George.
I don't know the bad ones. I'm sorry. I haven't been following. I don't know who the bad guys are.
No, I'll point that out. I mean, that's
I was
a
just
little
gonna say
worse than that.
Alexander.
Alexander what?
Albon?
Albon. Williams. Oh man.
Poor Williams.
Yeah. Look at that. The last positions.
Yeah.
I remember Williams cars. Oh my God, it was so much fun in the '80s, right? Beginning of '90s.
He didn't even finish the race.
Yeah, I have none of
The
them.
80s was the year of
Yes.
Williams. Yeah.
Nigel Mansell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
They had some great cars.
They did.
Patrese, he was an amazing driver, man. Riccardo Patrese,
Yeah.
Italian guy, and he was an amazing driver. It was really good.
So when is the next one again?
May 19th, not this weekend, but the next.
Okay, in
So
Italy.
we got a little break.
In Italy.
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 There you go.
So what happened with the Pacers and the Knicks?
Well, they are
Game
playing
one.
right now. They are playing right now. The second game. It's in New York, but so New York has advantage, right? So they lost. Man,
Wasn't there some controversy in Game 1 the way it ended? With a call or something with the ref at the end of the game? Some type of foul that was called?
Yeah, I think. No, I haven't watched the end of this game. I watch it only.
Of Game 1?
Yeah, I only watch it one quarter because I had something with Tamiris, but I've seen that it was very close. I watched it only the end. Yeah, so it was very, very close.
Some sort of kicked ball violation called against the Pacers with 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter. That was an incorrect call.
Jeez. Man, again, New York Knicks, they're doing everything possible for the Knicks to advance.
Refs
Good,
have
they
made
deserve it.
4 errors in that game, according to
All
CBS
against-
Sports.
Who had 4?
The refs?
The refs.
The
Oh my
refs
God,
made
yeah.
4 errors in Game 1. I saw this from the Pat McAfee show.
Right.
He played for the Indianapolis Colts, lives in Indiana. He follows all Indiana sports. He had posted the kind of like final minute of the game. And something happened where nobody kicked the ball, and they called it, and it gave the Knicks the possession, and they went on to win. And it was like
True.
with less than a minute left in the game, and it was just a bad call. And now I think they're coming out and saying they made a mistake. But you can't go back in
No,
time.
you can't, but yeah.
So that's super costly.
That's what I was telling you about racing. Let's say last corner, somebody takes somebody out. They were supposed to, like, the guy in front should have finished in third,
Right.
right? And then the guy pushes it out and then finishes in third, gets disqualified. The trophy goes to the 5th place, doesn't go back to the
Yeah, he
guy
just
that
didn't
was
finish.
in third. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he didn't finish. That happened to my cousin and Nelson Piquet Jr.
You can't just award them the thing, So it's like
Yeah.
But Nelson
This
Piquet,
family.
that went,
Milton Piquet
that is
killed
started.
murder.
Yeah,
That started
there's a-
there. Nelson Piquet Jr. being a very, very bad sportsman. Like he
No
crashed,
sportsmanship there.
and then he crashed on purpose because of it's being talked about.
Okay.
Oh, I've seen videos of this.
Yeah, his
Junior?
he crashed on a race, on night race, and then Alonso won that race because of the safety car. Because they needed a safety car at that moment so that Alonso would stop, come back in front, and then finish the race.
There was a lawsuit about that too, right?
Oh yeah,
He
no,
claimed-
he was banned. The team owner was banned from Formula One.
And the manager was like, I don't know if you'd call it a ban. It wasn't a permanent ban, but he was banned for like a certain
Which-
amount of years before he could come
which
back.
team was
Everybody
it?
involved.
Was at
Benetton?
the time was Benetton.
Yeah,
Yeah, Benetton, yeah, but there are lots of
Flavio
stories about
Briatore.
that. Yeah.
He was banned for life.
Yeah.
He is banned for life in Formula One, but he still manages a field driver.
Hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right? We always say.
Yeah, let's test the limits.
Exactly.
Let's
That's all
test the
you're
limits. Right, yeah.
As long as you don't get caught.
On that note, thank you very much for sticking around.
For this live podcast.
Yeah, we're doing live now.
Podcast, yes.
It's easier.
I like it. I
on
like it.
Wednesday,
Yeah, it's
6 p.m. Austin time.
Central Standard. Check us out.
And don't forget to like. Can you like it? Yes.
You can comment
You can comment.
and chat with us next time.
Subscribe.
And you can also share with your friends.
Right.
Have a good
Good.
night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Wow.
I forgot to mention, man, Nugget